This is the process shot. I'm Michael, the air is clean here, and I've seen Kernel, a short animated sci-fi film from Olly Skillman-Wilson, released back in 2013. Set in a metropolis plagued by the effects of global warming and climate change, the movie focuses on a scientist who spends his time capturing mysterious clouds which float around the polluted city. He takes the clouds and extracts the knowledge they contain, which he then keeps in a greenhouse within his home. However, one day the scientist ends up having to make a snap decision to either let a cloud escape his grasp or risk his life to grab it, when one is caught in his nets, but his oxygen tanks necessary for outdoor survival are all empty. There really isn't too much to this short in the way of story. In fact, there really isn't too much story at all, or at least not much that is explicitly explained. There is text in the opening that sets up the world, but that almost seems like an afterthought when the actual visuals couldn't tell the whole story. It doesn't help that the film is without dialogue or narration as well, and everything comes from either that opening text or whatever actually happens on screen. There's at least enough context throughout the film that does explain things, but it's not necessarily enough to make complete sense of what is going on, just the larger concepts and symbolism of the short, which, might I add, should come as no surprise that it has an environmentalist angle to it. At the very least, it's not another documentary short about environmentalism. In any case, one of the other standouts of the short is its animation. Rather, one of the oddities of the film is in its animation. That is, the animation of the short is rather off-putting and a bit amateurish. I won't necessarily knock the film for this though, since the credits do say that it's a school project and not something that was made by professionals who would have known better. Still, it's something to be aware of going in, at least so that you won't immediately be surprised. In any case, the simpler animation does actually work for me, mostly because it feels almost like old school CGI before they created more fancy tools, but that's more of a personal thing. In the end, Kernel isn't too bad of a short, cutting right to the point of its message without directly shoving it into the viewer's face, but it simultaneously cuts out any greater depth to the narrative and foregoes other cinematic and technical elements in favor of showcasing the idea and symbolism. Kernel, Olly Skillman-Wilson, 2013. 2 stars. I wouldn't recommend seeing it, but it's not something you'd need to avoid seeing. Basically, you can watch it on your own time. That's it from me for now. If you liked this review, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Comment below if you want, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews at a later date. This movie reminded me that I need to water the plants around here, so that's going to be fun. At least, I think the plants need watering. Actually, are there even any plants around here?